I'll try to keep this quick. So I'm using 0 tech, but not necessarily going to use all poverty gear and poverty ships because I don't want to waste time losing. So the goal is to get 10,000 points, and to get 10,000 points you need to have like 60% or 70% bonus and have nobody sink. And you also have to kill the boss in a reasonable amount of time, like 2 salvos or 3 salvos. So like 1 minute, maybe even 4 salvos if 70% is good enough for that. So to get like 60 to 70% bonus, you don't have to take everything, so don't take the difficult ones. Let me just look at all the 10% first. So here are the boss stats. And so the boss is medium armor, that's balanced between battleships and carriers. And she has really low evasion and okay luck. But basically you won't have trouble hitting. So the thing to note here is 440 anti-air, which is a bit on the high side. And a lot of these modifiers also buff the boss's AA, and that'll make carriers even weaker. So if you want to use carriers, then you have to avoid all of these, like plus 10% to all stats. That includes anti-air, you don't want that. So don't take this one if you're using carriers. And probably don't take this one as well, because the enemy airplanes can reveal your main fleet, and that will decrease their damage. And this one, obviously, 30% anti-air is a huge buff to boss resistance against your carriers. Let me just use battleships. I think it'll be easier, probably. I haven't tried though. So given that we're using battleships, we don't care about the AA. So you pick this one, and this one increases all stats, which includes evasion and hit and firepower torp. The boss has really low torp anyway, so buffing the boss's torp doesn't matter. And evasion is also really low, so buffing it by 10% won't matter either. So the only thing this thing does for battleships is increase the boss's damage through firepower and hit, but that's okay. And 10% is a big bonus, so we still want that. Now the boss has low torp, and buffing it by 50%, it's only plus 65 at it. I think this will be, I mean, if the boss even has torpedo attacks, I'm not sure, but we're picking this one anyways. And since we're not using carriers, pick this airstrike damage. And also torpedo damage. Torpedoes come from your vanguard, and they don't matter that much compared to main fleet. Movement speed is a problem if you don't have Bismarck 2. So if the boss is moving faster, then your battleships will whiff more unless you black hole them or use carriers like Implacable or August. So like, let's assume I don't have Bismarck, and I'll leave this unpicked. This one, obviously it's a boss battle, we don't need healers, and we shouldn't bring healers, so this is a free modifier. And this one, assuming our battle ends in 60 seconds, that means our ships took 20% of their HP in damage. I think that should be manageable. And since we're using battleships, we don't care about enemy airplanes. And we probably don't care about our vanguard being slow. So vanguard being slow will make them take more damage from enemy arcing shells. If the arcing shell aims at a spot and vanguard is too slow to move out of it, then they get hit. so a slight decrease in Vanguard survivability. And this is 53%, we still need some more. One of these 10% we should take. So 50% firepower is a lot. It'll be almost 50% increase in firepower base damage from the boss. So if I take 20% damage instead, that includes torpedo damage. But the boss is a battlecruiser, and I mean, I don't know which attacks are torpedoes, but this one should be safer than 50% firepower. And that's 63%, but I want to be a bit safer and add one more, which will be this one. So when below 20% HP, permanent shield is probably a spinning shield, and that will block Vanguard guns, but your main fleet is the main damage dealer. So 66%, and let's try. And cats, I'll just use one cat. And hopefully your two cats are better than this one cat. I'll even put a purple. Purple. Boss is medium, so I mean, it doesn't matter, just put your highest level. And I'll put level 120 subs. Now for service fleet, I said battleships. So obviously just put all of your rainbows, and Warspite doesn't count as a rainbow. I think I'll take like 2 rainbows, and then Duke is the natural choice. Because Duke buffs rainbows, and rainbows have high damage. So FDG is the second weakest rainbow after Warspite in bossing. So I'll pick the weak one. And then, I don't know, I guess New Jersey is permanent now. It looks like we can't adjust their position without removing ships. So I want to pick the main tank first. Like Anchorage and Azur are kind of easy to get. And then Helena for bossing, of course. If you're just going for 10,000 points, then might as well roll some RNG on Helena if you're having trouble. And finally, I'm trying to not use like PR5 or PR6 ships. So I could just pick some random DDG. Double evasion, of course. If the battleships are using the fast first load, then Helena should take SG radar. Like that. And I'll just put some random non-top tier guns here, like this. And boss is medium, so SAP would be nice. Unfortunately, I only have a plus 13. I'll just downgrade it to plus 10, 130. which is already here. So Duke should fire first to debuff for the other two battleships. And she is kind of slow, so that means either we take a twin gun here or I continue with this, and if Duke uses a triple gun, then to make sure she still goes first, then the other two rainbow battleships can't use this. So they have to use double shell and double shell here. This is +0, but I'm too lazy to go grab one. For submarines, submarine gear does matter. But as long as it's like G7E or bitter or the rainbow. The rainbow is expensive, so I'll just use, even Type 95. Well, preferably magnetics. And let's just see if this works. So obviously if FDG is not Fate Sim, then she wants to be flagship. And if you have Plymouth, then I guess New Jersey should be flagship. Anyways, Duke should not be flagship. So after one salvo, the boss is already half down. Maybe I used too many rainbows. Yeah, I used too many rainbows, and maybe I can get rid of the submarines as well. So that was a 2 salvo. It was fast, which means the score was kind of high. So 10.6 thousand to get all the rewards. You only need 10,000. $10,000 for a repair crane. Let me remove these submarines and also remove a rainbow. I know I using too many 125s. I'll just give her a +10, I guess. This one is from PR6, but it's just a side grade to the PR3 gun, also Gear Lab. And we do want FDG in the middle. Maybe I'll just remove a ship. This is not ideal. So I was missing just a bit of survivability there. I wonder 61% should still be fine. I want to test how whether 3 salvoing it will work for 10,000 points. And that's 1 minute and 20 something seconds, and it's only 9.5 thousand. So to get 10,000 we do need to be either faster or take another modifier. Or like 9,500 and I had 61. So that 10,000. Okay. So I needed 60 or 70%. A 70% modifier if I wanted to get 10,000 score with the battle lasting for 1... Oh no, it's because Helena sank. Because ships sinking will decrease your score. So 61% should be enough for 10,000 and 1 minute 20 seconds. But everyone has to stay alive. So anyways, I think that's good. Just you should try to finish the battle within 3 salvos instead of having to go to the 4th, and then make sure that nobody sinks, and it'll be good for 10,000 with like 60% modifiers.